Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany. Welcome to Randomness, where we talk about a little bit of everything, the deep, the weird, and the real. So take a breath, open your mind, and let's get into it. Today, we are diving into something that I find pretty fascinating, and it is this question of when you get guidance or intuition or that gut feeling about something, where is it actually coming from? Is it coming from spirit guides? Is it coming from your higher self? Are those the same thing? Are they different? And does it even really matter? Because I think a lot of people use these terms interchangeably, but they are actually referring to different concepts. So let's break it down. First, let's talk about spirit guides. The idea of spirit guides is that there are spiritual beings, whether they're angels, ancestors, ascended masters, or just benevolent entities who are assigned to help you navigate your life. They're like your spiritual support team. They're not living in physical bodies, but they are watching over you, sending you signs, nudging you in the right direction, protecting you from harm. Different spiritual traditions have different takes on who or what spiritual guides are. Some people believe they are deceased loved ones who are still looking out for you. Some people believe they're angels or divine beings. Some believe they're souls who haven't completed their earthly journey and are now helping others from the other side. But the common thread is that spirit guides are external to you. They're separate entities with their own consciousness, their own wisdom, their own perspective, and they could communicate with you through signs, synchronicities, dreams, intuitive hits, or sometimes even through other people. Now, your higher self is a different concept. Your higher self is essentially the wisest, most evolved version of you. It is a part of you that's connected to divine wisdom, that sees the bigger picture, that knows your soul's purpose. It's still you, but it is the you that exists beyond your ego, beyond your fears and conditioning and limiting beliefs. So think of it like this. Your everyday self is the you that is stressed about bills and worried about what people think and gets caught up in drama. And your higher self is the you that's zoomed out, that understands why you're going through what you're going through, that knows what you need to learn and where you're headed. So the main difference is spirit guides are external helpers and your higher self is internal wisdom. But here's where it gets a little tricky. When you receive guidance, how do you know where it's coming from? And honestly, I think that this can be really hard to determine. And maybe it doesn't matter as much as we think it does. Like if you get a strong intuitive hit to take a different route home and you later find out that there was a huge accident, the usual way you go home. Doesn't matter if that guidance came from a spirit guide or from your higher self. Either way, you are protected. Either way, you listen to something beyond your logical mind. But I do think there are some subtle differences in how spirit guide communication and higher self communication can feel. Spirit guide communication, it often feels like it's coming from outside of you. It might feel like a thought that just drops into your mind that doesn't feel like your own voice. It might come through signs and synchronicities, like you're thinking about a problem and then you see a billboard with the exact answer you needed. Or a stranger says something that speaks directly to your situation. Spirit guides tend to communicate through repetition. Like you will keep seeing the same number sequence or the same message will come up in different forms until you finally pay attention. Now, higher self communication, on the other hand, it often feels like it's coming from deep within you. It is that quiet, calm, knowing voice. It's not loud or pushy. It doesn't argue with you. It just knows. And when your higher self communicates with you, it usually feels expansive and peaceful, even if the message is challenging. Your higher self speaks in I statements like, I know this is the right path. I need to let this go. I'm being called to do this. Spirit guides might feel more like they are speaking to you. You know, you should do this. This is what you need to know. We're here to help. But again, these are subtle distinctions and they can overlap. And I think some of the confusion comes from the fact that your higher self might actually be communicating with your spirit guides and then relaying that information to your conscious mind. Like it's all connected. So how do you connect with your spirit guides versus your higher self? For spirit guides, a lot of people find that asking for signs is helpful. You can literally just say out loud or in your mind, Spirit guides, I need your help with this situation. Please send me a clear sign about what I should do. And then you pay attention. You watch for synchronicity, for repeated messages, for things that just feel too coincidental to be coincidental. And some people also connect with their spirit guides through meditation. You can visualize meeting them, ask them their names, ask them what they want you to know. And some people feel a presence or see images or just get a sense of who their guides are. For connecting with your higher self, meditation is also helpful, but it's more about quieting the external noise and going inward. It's about getting still enough that you can hear that quiet, wise voice underneath all the mental chatter. So journaling can be a great way to connect with your higher self too. You can just write a question and let your hand move without overthinking it. And often what comes out is your higher self speaking. Some people use the phrase, what would the highest version of me do in this situation? And that can help you tap into that higher perspective. Now, here's a question I've thought about a lot. If your higher self is the wisest version of you and spirit guides are wise beings helping you, are they always going to agree? Yeah. And I think mostly yes, because they're both coming from a place of love and wanting what's best for your soul's growth. But I do think there might be times when your higher self knows something that your spirit guides don't, simply because your higher self is you. It knows your soul's specific journey in a way that even the most loving guide might not fully grasp, and vice versa. Spirit guides might have a perspective that your higher self doesn't have access to yet because they're further along in their spiritual evolution, or they can see things from a different vantage point. But I think if there's ever a conflict between what feels like spirit guide guidance and what feels like higher self guidance, you should trust your higher self, because at the end of the day, you are the one living your life. You're the one who has to make the decisions and live with the consequences. So your inner knowing should be the final authority. There is also this interesting idea that maybe our spirit guides are actually future versions of ourselves. Like, what if your higher self from the future is one of your guides, helping past you make decisions that will lead you to where you need to be? And I don't know if that's true, but it is a pretty interesting concept to think about. And also, I want to mention that both spirit guides and your higher self will never guide you towards something that harms you or others. If you're getting guidance that tells you to do something destructive, manipulative, or cruel, that is not coming from a divine source. That's coming from ego, fear, or maybe even something darker. True spiritual guidance is always rooted in love, even when it's challenging. It's not evil or dark, It might push you out of your comfort zone. It might ask you to make hard choices, but it is never going to tell you to hurt yourself or others. So how do you know if you're actually connecting with spirit guides or your higher self versus just talking to yourself? And I think the honest answer is you don't always know for sure. And I think that's okay. I think the goal isn't to perfectly identify the source of every intuitive hit you get. The goal is to develop a relationship with this spiritual realm in whatever form that takes for you. Maybe you believe in spirit guides, and that framework helps you feel supported and less alone. Maybe you believe that all wisdom comes from within, and the concept of a higher self resonates with you. Maybe you believe in both. Maybe you're not sure what to believe, but you know that sometimes you get guidance that feels beyond your normal thinking mind, and you are grateful for it. All of that is valid. I think the important thing is to stay open, to pay attention, to trust your intuition, and to be discerning. Not every thought you have is divine guidance. Sometimes your brain is just being anxious, or your ego is trying to protect you, or you're just making stuff up. But when you get that clear, calm, knowing feeling, whether you attribute it to spirit guides, your higher self, the universe, God, or just your own deep wisdom, listen to it, trust it, and see where it leads you. Because at the end of the day, whether the guidance is external or internal, it's all part of the same spiritual ecosystem. It's all designed to help you grow, to keep you on your path, to remind you that you are never truly alone. But guys, that's just what I've been thinking about. And if you've ever felt guided by something you can't quite explain, I'm sure you're not imagining it. Whether it's coming from within or beyond, it's real and it matters. Anyways, thanks for listening. Until next time, trust your intuition. Stay open to guidance, and remember, you have access to wisdom far greater than your logical mind can comprehend. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to follow, and remember, keep your energy grounded, your mind open, and your curiosity alive.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.